So I joined MSPP 3 years ago and was put in charge of the organizational and leadership psychology programs. And we've gone from 20 students 3 years ago to 80 students now. So a lot of rapid development. And the programming includes the Leadership PsyD, Organizational Psychology Master Degree, Higher Education Master Degree. We have an Executive Coaching Graduate Certificate, and we've just added a Health Coaching Certificate as well that I'm helping to develop. MSPP continues to shift and adapt to the changes in psychology, but also the changes in higher education. So it has grown from what was once a school that was based on clinical psychology only programs to include clinical still. We have school psychology, counseling psychology, and we're the new kids on the block, organizational and leadership psychologies. And may I add, Business Insider magazine last week put as a #1 of 30 top careers in America as organizational psychology. There is so much change going on in the 21st century, and it's going on so rapidly that organizations, in order to survive, need organizational psychologists to come in and diagnose and then help those organizations move to action. Rather than often what we see is it jump to action and then after a lot of time and expense move into the diagnosis. But in order for organizations not to go extinct, they need to be adaptive, and that's really tough work to do, but our students are doing it. MSPP was always known for putting out really good clinicians, and I worked with a lot of those clinicians in the community as a psychologist myself. And when I was given the charge to go out and establish 21st century leadership programs, MSPP was the place that was ready to join me in that adventure and that effort. So we're the first leadership psychology doctoral program in the world. Not for long, which is good because that raises everyone's boats. Europe is joining us in that, and we're helping them create those programs. But MSPP had the foresight to bring that type of psychology into its portfolio. The way we've done leadership in the 20th century didn't necessarily do wonders for us economically, socially, environmentally, politically. There's a lot of raw and bleeding issues out there. So the purpose of the program, whether it's leadership development, whether it's leadership psychology, is to prepare those students with the tools to exercise leadership, to create followers, in which leaders need followers, and to support leaders. And that's where our students are coming to us. They're seeing a challenge in their environments. They want to help make that change for the better, for some social constructive outcome. And we're giving them some of the supports and tools to do so, to exercise that type of leadership. Well, just as leaders come in all shapes and sizes, our candidates will as well. Leadership is very contextually based, but we do find that our students who go into that doctoral program have spent some time thinking about who they are and how they want to contribute to society for social change purposes. They have tried to run various experiments, maybe themselves, in making change, and sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. And now they are eager to have more of a framework of the theory and practice of leadership, what we do know. Now, what we don't promise, and in fact no one should be able to promise, is we don't promise we make leaders, because leadership is contextually based, and no one can tell you out of the 40 years of the leadership industry, as our friend Barbara Kellerman at Harvard tells us, that they can make a leader. But what we can do is really help you be more successful when you do try to enact change and try to be a leader, to keep in the game. So the most typical route is that students find us and find the information on the website, and they read about the program, the 4-year program, which is a contained program. It's a professional doctorate, and oftentimes there's something that resonates with them. This is what I've been looking for. This is a kind of model that I would like to pursue. This is flexible enough for me to be able to do both my work and do my schooling because it's a blended model. And the next step is oftentimes they'll get in touch with me or a faculty member to learn more. We can put them in touch with fellow students. But the student that tends to do well understands or is trying to understand what leadership means and how that's different from being a manager, from being an authoritarian figure. They've thought about that. They have tried to exercise leadership in their own lives, and they have some life experience under their belt so they can come to the table and contribute their perspective and insight. The instructors are, I have to say, cherry-picked by me, who are real 21st century teachers and learners themselves. And by that I mean they're engaging students in an entirely different way of the butts and seats approach. They come to us from around the country. They are very much involved in the students and the student development. They are understanding that leadership is not a characteristic-based approach, but it's actually a contextually based approach to change, and they're very much involved in working with the students to gain some insight and perspective on how they're going to make some of the shifts that they want to make in their lives and contribute to the world in that capacity, small or large, whatever that may be. Well, I think, I want to keep it at a place where there is a lot of interaction between students and with the faculty as well. So a manageable size, 7 to 10 students per year. I'm eager for the students to create amazing doctoral projects that launch them into their next steps. And I think those amazing projects will just continue shining light on the good work we're doing here.